To talk to you about today, as I said in the title of this one, a taboo conversation that happens way more often than you may think. And it's also a really important thing when it comes to our overall health and well-being. And I've joined BNI, which is a business networking group, and so I need to come up with a presentation to share every week. And I had a conversation with a group of fellow females and friends and business owners and said, "Is do you think it would be inappropriate if I were to talk about explosive diarrhea on Wednesday at this networking meeting?" And the conversation that came from that one sentence was incredible. And it just helped me recognize that this is something that's being discussed more often than I even realized. And it's really important. I mean, it's something that we should be doing every day. And clients that we've had come to us that have said, "Oh, yeah, it's totally normal for me. I have a bowel movement once a week or twice a week or every 3 days." And we can get to the point where we just think that's normal because it's something we've been dealing with for a long time. But optimally, you should be having bowel movements at least once a day, if not more. And the thing is, there's a lot of factors that can be a problem here. Hydration is a really big part of this. If you're dehydrated, this is going to slow down the transit time and not allow things to process through your system properly. And a friend recently said to me, think about a water slide with no water. That would not be a fun situation. You'd get stuck. It's a similar situation when we're looking at constipation because stuff is not going to move through your system and out of the body properly if you're dehydrated. Because optimally, your large intestine, which is the last stage of digestion and things moving out, is a stage where where the body absorbs water. And so if you're dehydrated and it's sucking all the water out of the bowel movement, it's not going to move. It's going to get stuck. And so that's part of the problem. We can also deal with hormone changes. This is why constipation is a more common one for women going through perimenopause and into menopause as well, because when progesterone dips, which is one of our sex hormones, that can increase the rate of having constipation and trouble with bowel movements as well. So, if things aren't moving properly, if you're not having regular bowel movements, or it's challenging to have, regular bowel movements, these are things that shouldn't be happening. And this isn't just in women, this isn't just in adults. This can happen in kids as well. And ultimately, if you're not pooping regularly, you're holding toxins in your colon and in your system. And ultimately, the body is going to reabsorb them back into the system. Our body does an incredible job of taking the toxins and taking the things in our system that don't belong there and packaging them into our poop to move it out. But if it's not able to move out properly, this is where the toxins can recirculate and can become more of a problem. And this is also where people will end up with breakouts, with acne. And a lot of the times, this is something that we don't even consider, is that if, you go on vacation or you had a stressful time or you ate some food that you don't normally eat and all of a sudden you're breaking out, we want to blame whatever the situation is. But if you're not pooping properly, then the body needs another pathway to force these toxins out. And your skin is often an area where they will show up. This is why it drives me crazy when you can go to a skin person or a skin doctor and they're like, "Oh, you just need to put this cream on the outside to deal with the skin problem." But like 90% of the time, probably more, the skin problems are coming from within. And when clients come to me and they say, "Okay, I've got these breakouts," especially if you're, I see this with women in perimenopause going through the transition phase of life where hormones are changing and you start to have symptoms. Acne is one that can come up. And it's realizing that it's not a skin problem, it's a gut problem. So it's either your body is not detoxifying things out the proper pathway, or, well, essentially, yeah, your body is not able to push things out the proper pathway, or you're overwhelmed with toxins. So the body needs another pathway to force them out. and so that can be your skin. So, pooping is really important. And it's something that we don't talk about all that often as a society, or so I thought. Although I've heard that, women talk about poop, men talk about poop. I heard a story of, a coworker who came down and was like, "Did you just destroy that bathroom?" to another coworker, because it's a regular part of life and it's something that happens every day, or it should happen every day. And when we're not pooping regularly, you're not going to feel good. You're going to feel heavy and sluggish and weighed down. And ultimately, the body is going to be overwhelmed with toxins as well if you're not able to clear them properly. So dehydration is a really big factor that can come into play here as well, or the food that you're consuming. If you're consuming food that's causing inflammation in your digestion tract, your digestive tract, that can make it so the body's not able to pass stools, pass bowel movements properly. To take a look at the things that you're eating, what's the stress like in your life? If you're stressed out, the body is not going to prioritize digestion. And a lot of the times with that, it's one of two things. People will either have diarrhea because the body's like, nope, just let go of everything that's in there. Because if we had to fight a bear, or you wouldn't fight a bear, but if we had to fight or flight, this isn't a priority. Or you hold on to things. So stress can be a really big factor in terms of constipation, as can emotional things. This is an interesting one that I've been, learning a lot more about the last couple of years, just because I see it in clients as well, where we're doing things that should be helping them. They should be having regular bowel movements. Things should be getting back to where it's supposed to be. And ultimately, emotions can be the missing piece, because if you're holding on to emotions and gripping them tight and not wanting to let them go, your body can respond to that by holding on, which can lead to not pooping properly. So it's not about, going to the store and getting, oh, sorry, my dog's under the desk. So Instagram is shaking like crazy. It's not about going to the store and looking for a laxative or something to force things through the system quickly. It's about figuring out what is going on with you and your body that you're not functioning in the proper way. And poop is a really simple conversation, but ultimately, this is almost like a vital sign, right? This is a question that I ask every single client every week when we do a check in. How are you sleeping? How's your stress? How's your energy? Are you pooping every day? And how's it been? Because sometimes when your body's getting rid of things or working to heal and reverse things, there can be phases where, you may deal with some loose stools, or you may deal with a little bit of diarrhea because the body's trying to flush things out. But we want to get people to the point where, like, the bowel movement talk isn't a necessary conversation, because, every day you're pooping like a champ. As one of my clients says, I poop like a champ. And that's a really good place to be in, because you know that you're clearing toxins out of your system effectively and efficiently. And you know that everything's working properly. Our gut is where 90% plus of our immune system lives. Our gut is where we make a lot of our neurotransmitters that are important for our brain. Our gut is where we absorb all the nutrients from the food that we eat. Our gut has a lot of responsibility in our overall quality of life and our overall health. And if you're not pooping properly, that's a sign. That's a sign just to let you know that something is not functioning properly and something needs your support. So, that's what I like to help people with. Every symptom that you deal with always has a cause. Constipation always has a cause. Diarrhea has a cause. Headaches have a cause. Skin problems have a cause. Everything is going to have a reason for it. And this is where I feel like medicine lets us down a little bit, in the sense of it's never about looking for the cause or the reason why you're having the issues you're having. It's just about what can we give you to suppress those symptoms, to make them go away. But that's not a long-term fix for people. And, if this is like the first symptom that comes up for you, the body whispers at first and says, something's not right here. And if you're not listening to it, or you're suppressing it and ignoring it, eventually the body's going to be like, and speak louder and louder. And so more symptoms come up. But this is a really important one that I want you to understand, that don't ignore it. If you're not pooping regularly, if you're dealing with diarrhea all of the time, which will be my conversation in tomorrow's BNI, explosive diarrhea. Nothing ruins a day worse than explosive diarrhea when you're in the middle of a meeting, right? So these are things that need your support and need your help. So if you're someone who, has digestive problems, has been struggling with cramping, bloating, gas, diarrhea, constipation, heartburn, all of these things are signs from your body that something needs your help. And this is where I can help you. So send me a message if this resonates with you and you would like to learn a little bit more. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully, there's no constipation or diarrhea in your future, and if there is, I'd be happy to help you figure out what's going on and what your body needs to get back into balance. I'll talk to you soon. Again, it's Kate from Align Natural Health, and live well naturally.